You spent your life staring into reflections, trying to find yourself in the mirror, in their eyes, in roles, in names. But none of them have ever shown you who you are, because none of them can. The mirror doesn't reflect you, it reflects the mask. Robert Spira once said, "Awareness cannot be seen. It is that which sees." Sit with that for a moment, because it means you've been trying to see yourself with the very faculty that can never be seen. You are not what's visible. You are what is doing the seeing. Look again. Not at the glass, not at the story. Look at the one behind your looking. The part of you that has never aged, that hasn't moved, that didn't flinch when your face changed, that didn't disappear when they left. That's you. Not the reflection, not the performance, but the field beneath perception itself. The reason you feel anxious in your identity is because identity was never built to hold you. It was built to symbolize you. But somewhere along the way, you began confusing the signal for the name, the voice for the volume, the mirror for the man. And the moment you did, you collapsed into reflection. You became a walking response to other people's lenses. Do you know how many men live like this? Not as themselves, but as projections, trying to stay consistent in the reflection of others, performing certainty, playing stable, chasing clarity, and wondering why they always feel off. It's because the mirror was never built to carry signal, only echo. You are not the echo. You are what creates the field in which echoes occur. And if you try to define yourself through what bounces back at you, you will always live a distorted life, because every reflection is filtered through another person's distortion. You were not made to be seen, you were made to see. That's why the more you chase being understood, the more fractured you become. Because understanding requires an object, but you are not the object. You are not the face, you are the field. You are the witness of the reflection, not its contents. Now listen closely. This doesn't mean you disappear. It means you stop negotiating your presence through the eyes of others. You stop shape-shifting to be liked. You stop adjusting to be loved. You stop collapsing just to stay visible. You stop performing reflection as if it's identity. This is the fracture most men never leave. They build themselves from outside in, from feedback, from approval, from mirrors, and they call that selfhood. But it's not a self, it's a mask built from fragments, a mosaic of other people's preferences masquerading as authenticity. So here's the truth. The only way to see what you are is to stop trying, because awareness does not need confirmation. It is self-knowing, not as a concept, as a reality. And the only reason you ever doubted it is because you looked in a mirror and thought the mask was you. But the mirror never reflected you. It only reflected what the world wanted to see. It showed you the angle that fit their frame, the version that kept the peace for you and for them, the face that drew less fire. And so you stayed, you froze, you shrank, all to protect an image that never belonged to you. But now you've remembered that the truth of you is not beholden to vision. It's not captured in sound, shape, or speech. It is prior to form. It is the formlessness witnessing the formed. It's the silence behind the sound, the stillness behind the motion, the field behind the reflection. And once you see that, you can walk into the world without explanation, without distortion, without reflection. You don't need them to see you when you know you are. So let me ask you, where have you been performing for the mirror? Who are you still trying to impress into reflection? What identity are you keeping alive because it feels safer than being unseen? And when will you return to the place that doesn't need to be looked at to be real? The mirror never reflected you. It reflected the compromise, the pose, the performance. But coherence cannot be reflected. It can only be emitted. So stop staring and start transmitting. You don't need to become visible. You need to become real. And reality does not require recognition. It only requires remembrance. Welcome to The Architect Speaks.